guys, it's your boy OSAS, and in today's episode, we are going to refactor and optimize our push notification services. So the first thing I want to bring our attention to is if we jump back to our Firebase Cloud Functions that we set up in the last episode that's responsible for setting off push notifications, let's just take a look at how much steps or how much stuff we have to do just to be able to send push notification. And right from here, you can see we're doing 3 or 5 different steps, actually. We're doing, listening for the new messages, and then we're getting the sender name, and then we're getting the channel name, and then we're getting the FCM token for each user before we're able to send the push notifications. Like I said in the last episode, there's a better way for us to actually do this, or there's a better way that I would approach this in my opinion, and that is just to add a couple of ephemeral child nodes to our messages dictionary. And what I mean by that is an ephemeral node is, you can essentially think of it as a field that doesn't really contain like up-to-date information. You only use this specific node once or twice. And why do we want to add an ephemeral node? Well, if you take a good look at our actual, let's go back to our actual push notification logic, all we really need is actually just the channel name, basically the sender name, which is like, we basically want the channel name for when the specific message was sent, right? And then we also want to know the FCM token of our chat partners. So if you think about it, both information we can actually get on the client side. There's no reason for us to delegate that to the server side or to push or to our Firebase Cloud Functions to handle. And here's how we're going to do that. This is pretty neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into our message item or into our channel. Let's see. I'm going to jump into, actually not even inside the channel item. So I'm going to go into the message service. So I'm going to Command Shift and O. Message service. And so inside of our message service right now, let us take a look at this function that's responsible for sending text messages, right? So right now, all we're adding in the channel dictionary is like the text, the type, the timestamp, and the owner UID. Well, what if we went ahead and actually appended the FCM token of all of our chat partners in that specific chat room? Like, there's honestly nothing wrong with doing that, and that is totally okay. And that's what I mean by an ephemeral feed, because the FCM token can expire in the future. But for this specific message, we just need it once. And so once this message has been sent, right, we're going to listen to that inside of our Cloud Functions, and we could use those ephemeral feed or those ephemeral node to actually power our push notification instead of having to make all this database read operation. Because look at this, like, right, we're going to the channels node. Let's see how many nodes we're actually going to. We're going to the users node, and then we go to the channels node, and then we go to the users node again, right? Am I wrong? Yeah, we're going to the users node twice, the channel node once, before we're actually able to send push notification. So we're doing 3 different read operations just to be able to send push notification. Well, what if we went ahead and just added a simple logic? Like, let's say, for example, channel name at send, right? And we use this channel name at send here, right here, instead of going to get the sender name. Because look at this, inside of our message sender snapshot, inside of our listener for new messages, all we're trying to do here is we're trying to get the name, the username of the person who's sending the message. On the client side, we already know the username. That's the currently logged in user. So we could just send that with our message. And all I'm just going to do is append this and call the channel name at send. And the reason I'm calling the channel name at send instead of, like, for example, username is because, remember, this is for a channel, right? For direct channels, it's the chat partner's name. That's the channel name. While for group channel, the channel name could actually be different, right? The channel name could be super dynamic. And so that's why I'm calling it channel name at send. It's essentially, what is the chat room, the name of the chat room when you send the message. And what do we use for this channel name at send? Well, I'm actually going to need to compute this. And you see what I mean by that. And the other thing I would like for us to also add is the FCM token. And so let me put this here to be determined. And so the FCM token, if we jump into our Node.js again, we're going to this users node. We're actually doing more than 3 database operation. I'm sorry. We're probably doing this. It's basically N. It's whatever the number of chat partners in a specific channel is. So you can see it's not really efficient, because imagine we have a channel that has like 12 members, right? Imagine if we're looping through those channel members 12 times just to be able to get the FCM token before we can actually send the push notification. Think about that for a second. And now imagine if you're actually trying to deploy this in production and you want to create channels that have like 20 members. That means you would be doing like 20 database read operations just to get FCM token. Why? There's really no need for that, right? We could honestly get that information right here on the client side. And here's what I'm going to do. Remember in the last episode, we added the FCM token for each user, right? So we know each of our users' FCM token in theory. All we can do here is we could just call something like chat partner. We can add another node. Again, it's an ephemeral node as well. And let's call it chat partner FCM tokens. I think that's a good name. And this is just going to be an array of our chat partner tokens, which seems pretty intuitive. And so let's go right ahead and actually add the values, create the key and the value for these 2 fields. So I'm going to take this 2 right here, and I'm going to go right ahead and jump into my message node, into my message model. So I'm going to Command Shift and O as always. I'm going to do message item. And inside of my message item, I'm just going to create those keys down here. Let me paste those 2. So the first one that I want is static let channel name at send. And let's do the same thing for our FCM token. So chat partner FCM tokens. And they're pretty intuitive. So I'm not really going to decode it on the client side because, again, we don't need this on the client side. We don't need this on the iOS app. We need this on the Firebase Cloud Function side because we want to use those two information to prevent us from doing a bunch of database read operations. So now I'm going to jump back into my message service now that we have those keys. So what is the channel name at send going to be? Well, let's go create this. So the way I'm going to create the channel name at send is I'm going to create it inside of our channel item. So I'm going to Command Shift and O. I'm going to jump into the channel item and I'm going to create a method that is going to be specifically responsible for getting the push notification title. Because remember, the channel name essentially right here, let me go back to our Node.js file. In here where we're doing get the sender name, all we're trying to do is get the push notification title. Because remember, it's the sender name that we're using to actually create the push notification title, like right here. So that's all we're looking for. And so in here, let's go back to Xcode. We're just going to create a method that's going to be responsible for doing that for us on the client side. And I'm just going to call it get push notification title. And as you can imagine, it's going to return us a string. But we need to take in a couple of information. And we need to take in the sender name. And again, the sender name is who is actually sending the message that we're about to send push notification about. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to know if it's a group chat, right? And I need to know if it's a group chat, if it already has a group name. So I'm going to say if like group name, because like I said, remember the title, the way I want to do it essentially is this. Let me actually do this. I'm jumping all over the place. Sorry about the confusion, guys. So what I want to do is if it's a group chat and the group chat already has a title, like a group name, like let's say, for example, Soccer Bros, right? Well, that's going to be the push notification title. We could just use that group name as the push notification title. So I'm going to unwrap that here. I'm going to say group name is equals to name. And remember, we have a name field right here, which is the actual channel name, right? Because we can add a custom name to our channels and it's optional string. So let's unwrap it. Well, if we have a group name, then I'm just going to return something like, I want a situation where we can say, for example, let's say, let's do this here. Let's say OSAS, in Soccer Bros. That's going to be the title, right? Let me do this, title. And then what I want for the body would be the actual message, right, that you're sending, right? And it makes sense, OSAS and Soccer Bro. Meanwhile, if you're chatting with OSAS or if OSAS is your chat partner, the title is just going to be OSAS. So that's pretty simple. And so what I want to return for the group name now is we're just going to say something like sender name and let's see, and I'm going to put in group name. Okay, so that's the message sender name and group name. Well, what if it's a group chat, but it doesn't have a group name, right? If it's a group chat and it doesn't have a group name, I'm going to return sender name in group chat. So I'm just going to say OSAS in, for example, group chats. Just keep it simple like that, something like that. And of course, you can feel free to customize this to whatever you want, but this is the solution that I'm going for. And we're going to do sender name again, sender name, and sender name in, we're going to say A, and then I'm going to do, I want it to have like, what is it called? I want it to have apostrophes. I'm going to say chat, and I'm going to slash this, and I'm going to put double quotations. Okay, so it's going to give us something like, OSAS in group chat, like that. That's the format that I'm going for. And what else do we want to do? Well, if it's not a group chat, meaning it's a DM, if it's a direct message, then I'm going to return the sender name. Okay? So that means if OSAS is the one sending this message to you, it's just going to say OSAS. That's going to be the title. And then it's going to have the message like, for example, what's up, right? Meanwhile, if it's OSAS in a group chat, it's going to say OSAS in a group chat, right? But if it's OSAS, for example, if the group chat already has a name, then it would just have, I already have it. Just have something like Soccer Bros. That's it, right? And that's pretty intuitive. So with that, we can now go use this get notification title inside of our messages service. But you can see just doing this simple computation on the client side, which is super easy, will save us a whole bunch of headache of having to do a read operation on the Cloud Function side. So I'm going to jump back to my message service and let's see, how do I want to use this now? Well, I'm going to say the channel name at send, let's channel name at send is now going to be equals to, I'm going to say channel, because remember, this is a method on the channel, get push notification title. It's going to ask for the sender name, and the sender name is just going to be params, or actually, we don't even need to use the param. It's going to be the current user dot username, okay? And I'm going to take this channel name at send and pass in this ephemeral node into our message dictionary. What about the FCM token? This is the cool bit. So for the FCM token, I'm just going to use a flat map. Let's see, what do I really want for the FCM token? Maybe we can extract this into our parameter. So here's what we're going to do for the FCM token, for the chat partner FCM token, because all we're trying to do is when we're inside of this chat, let's say inside of this group chat, we want to know all the FCM token of all the members in here, right? And except the currently logged in user, except the person who's actually sending the message, because we don't really want to send the push notification to ourselves. We only want to send it to our chat partner. So I'm going to extract that logic into our message upload parameter. And if you remember, we have this message upload parameter, and I'm trying to look for it right here. I think it's all the way down here. Let me scroll all the way down here. We have this message upload parameter. And what do we want to do with this message upload parameter? Well, I'm going to create a computer property, and I'm just going to call it chat partner FCM tokens. And it's just going to be an array of string because it's the array of the user ID. And then I'm just going to return channel.members but I wanted to exclude the currently logged in user because in this instance, the currently logged in user is the one that's sending the message. So I'm going to do compact map, right, which is going to return non-nil value. So it's going to create a new array for us and return any empty items inside of that array. And all we want is the FCM token. That's it. So this is going to return us an array of FCM tokens of our chat partners because we're accessing the channel. Remember the message upload as a channel, and we're getting all the members excluding the currently logged in user. So now let's go use this chat partner FCM token inside of our message service upload method. So I'm going to scroll up here. So instead of an empty array, then I'm going to pass in chat partner FCM tokens. And I think that is more than enough to do the job for us. But it's actually yelling at us. Let's see. What am I doing right here, guys? It's yelling at us, which it shouldn't. Let me see. It's saying chat partner. Oh, yeah. I need to do params. So does this have a parameter? This does not have a parameter. And let me jump down here and let me just copy this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to jump all the way back up here. And let me just create it right here. I'm going to say equals. I'm going to say chat partner FCM token. So I'm going to say let chat partner FCM token is equals to the channel from this parameter right here. And that should fix our error. Okay, so let's go right ahead and actually use this too now. But before we do anything, I would like to also copy these two properties and move it to also our send media message. Because remember, we have this method that's responsible for sending media messages as well. Well, we also need to update the messages dictionary. Because right now, the message dictionary still has the old pattern. So we need to add those two ephemeral fields inside of our message dict. And I believe all we need to do is just append, channel name at send and channel partner. So the channel name at send, I'm going to copy this again. And let's see, I'm going to paste it up here. I'm going to say the channel name at send is equals to, this is yelling at us. We're just going to use params.sender.username. Okay, we're inside of the send media message now. And now that's this channel name at send. The chat partner FCM token is just going to be our params, because remember, we just created that. We're just going to say params, the chat partner FCM token, which is this computer property we created earlier. And so just like that, we have these two ephemeral fields, this channel name at send and this chat partner FCM token on the client side. That's literally all we need to do. Now, let me show you how this is going to come in clutch for us. Let's jump into our VS Code, into our same file, and I'm going to go right ahead and create a new Firebase Cloud function that is going to do a much more simpler job. And what is this Firebase Cloud function going to do, you ask? Well, we're going to use those two fields that we just created. So let's see. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another exports, and let's call this one, for example, listen, send notifications for messages. Okay, and now we're going to say functions, as we did the other time, the database. Okay, and we're going to honestly follow the same path. Let me paste this here. Let me comment this out because I'm going to need those two keys. We're going to use the same path, honestly, so I'm going to go right ahead and copy it. The ref is the channel, messages ref, and we're going to use the same onCreate and everything else, but let's type that out to avoid any confusion. So I'm going to say onCreate, and I'm going to say, for example, we know we need an asynchronous function. It's going to give us the context, or it's going to give us the snapshot and context, and we're going to return and fire this method whenever a new message is created. So what do we need? Well, we need the data. I'm going to copy the data and paste it here because that remains the same. We need the message. I'm going to copy the message and paste it here. And by the way, you can also do it this way. It doesn't have to be this key value pair. You can just also say text like that, data to text. It's going to do the same thing. And I'm going to also get the, let's see, the next thing I want to do is get the sender name. So now I'm going to say sender name. And guess what? In this time around, look at what we have to do to get the sender name, right? We have to do a database operation. We don't need to do that now because remember, the channel name at send is now the sender name. So we could just say data.sender dot channel name at send. Let's make sure we copy this because this is important. It's case sensitive. Okay, so the sender name is channel name at send, and then we need to get the FCM token. So I'm going to say chat partner FCM tokens is equals to what, guys? Well, it's just going to be equals to our data dot chat partner FCM token. Okay, and again, this is the same equivalent as this key value pair, this key that we're using right here. This is just another way of doing this in JavaScript. Okay, so we have our FCM token. The next thing we need to do now is let's just loop through it. Remember, this chat partner FCM token is actually an array, so we could just say for const FCM token inside of our chat partner FCM tokens. What do we want to do, guys? You already know. We're just going to send push notifications because now push notifications takes in 3 messages. It takes in the message, it takes in the sender name and the FCM token. And guess what? We have the message right here. Pass in the message. We have what else? We have the sender name right here. Pass in the sender name. And the last bit that we need is the FCM token, which is this array right here, the specific object that we are looping through right now. And that's it. That is it, guys. That's literally all we're going to be using now. And so you can see how excited I am because this is just a much more cleaner way. And this is honestly something that I do a lot whenever I'm writing or using Firebase Cloud Functions. I'm always thinking about how I can use ephemeral fields to just make my function so much more faster without having to go do a bunch of database read operations on the, the Cloud Function side. So let's go ahead and actually deploy our new function now. Make sure you command an S, guys. That's very important. Command an S to save your file. And now let us go right ahead and deploy our Firebase Cloud function. So I'm going to say Firebase -- deploy, and let's just call it cloud. Actually deploy By the way, I keep forgetting this function name, the command name. So I'm just going to do this, go up, 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 up. And this is what we want. Firebase deploy dash dash only functions. And by the way, you can tap arrow up, 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 up to find the specific path or the specific command that you're looking for. So Firebase deploy dash dash only functions, hit enter. And this should deploy our new function and delete the old function. This old listen for new message function will be deleted, which is exactly what we want. And so let's wait for this bad boy to do its thing. And it's going to ask us, it's saying, do we want to delete the old message, the old cloud function? Yes. So I'm going to type Y, type in yes, or hit enter after that. And so now it is deleting the listen for new messages old cloud function. It's loading in the new send notification for messages cloud function. And you're going to see how much easier this is. So as you can see, while this is loading, we have literally compressed all of the step from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to straight up 2, just 1, 2, right? How awesome is that? We're just listening for the notification and then we're just sending the notification. That's it. We don't have to go get the username. We don't have to go get the channel name. We don't have to go get the FCM token. Like we just straight up go 1, 2, give us what we need and we're good. And so now I'm waiting for my cloud functions to deploy. This usually takes a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or two at the most. And I'm going to come right back once this is done. So my cloud function has successfully deployed. And as usual, I'm going to go delete this image from our GCP bucket really quickly. So I'm just going to command and click into this because for some reason it's not clearing up our build images. And I'm just going to go right here, wait for it to boot up. And I'm going to click on GCF artifacts and click on delete. And that's awesome. Let's go see if our cloud functions are successfully deployed. Let us refresh our functions page inside of our Firebase console. Look at that, send notification for messages. Let's click on this. Let's go view our logs and let's also send a new message. So right now we don't have any log because we've just deployed this function for the first time. Let's actually send push notifications on our simulator. Let's see what happens, guys. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and run our project again because we actually haven't run or compiled the new stuff. And the new field, the new messages dictionary should now have these two fields, right? Should have channel name at send and chat partner FCM token. So I'm going to do that for this iPhone 15 Plus. And let me do that really quickly for this other one, iPhone 15 Pro, and run. And let's see, we're going to send text messages, check our database node to make sure they have those information, and we should still get push notifications. So let's go right here and send a new chat to our buddy, QA user 27, which is the simulator right here. So I'm just going to say, what's up, buddy? Hit that send button. Let's wait for everything. And we're still waiting. Look at that, guys. QA user 3, what's up, buddy? What if we create a group chat with QA user 3 in it, and we send a message to that group chat, right? Let's say new group. Let's look for QA user 3 again. Or actually, no, this is, I think we are QA user 3. Yeah, we are QA user 3. So let's go look for QA user 27. And let's create a new group chat with QA user 27. So I'm going to look for QA user 27. Where are you? 27. Come on. Did I miss it? This is 47. This is 18. 27, 27. Yes, right here. So I'm going to do 27. And maybe just do this other 3 guys as well. I don't really care. Go next and just call it. Click on create. Okay, so we have a new channel. Let's go right ahead and send a notification, send a message to this channel. We should still get a push notification from here. Look at that, QA user 3, and that's the fam, right? Which is awesome. Let's go right ahead and send another notification. But this time around, what if we send a message to this, like a video or photo message? What would happen? Would it tell us it's a photo message? So it doesn't really see anything. It just has the title. Because remember, the body of the notification, right? The actual body of the notification, this body right here, hey there, that's the actual message that we sent. So let's go ahead and fix that really quickly. So I would like for us to also handle that where, for example, we can have a message, a push notification that lets you know if it's a photo or a video message. And the way I'm going to do that is, remember our messages have message type. So each message in the message dictionary, we have this type property. And if you jump into this type, it's the actual message type, right? We can know if it's a admin, if it's a text, if it's a photo, yada, yada, yada. You get the deal. Let's go ahead and actually extract that from our Firebase Cloud function. So I'm just going to say right here, const, and I'm going to go right ahead and just say, let's see, message type is equals to data, but remember it's stored as type on the back end, not message type. And let me show you what I mean. If we jump to our real-time database really quickly, and let me just jump right here, create a new one, jump right here, go to the messages, like a regular channel message, and look at that. That is stored as type. So that's the message type, which is awesome. So we have a message text, that's text, but the type is video. So let's go right ahead and do that. So we have a message type is type, and then we can just perform a basic, if-else statement here. We're just going to say if the message type is, and we have to do triple equals in JavaScript. I'm just going to say if it's of type image. I want to make sure we're calling it image, actually. What are we calling it here? So we have, actually it's called photo. So we have photo, we have video, and we have audio. So we want to say if it's of type photo, right? Then I'm going to create a new notification message. So instead of using this message right here, because this message is only for text. So let's go ahead and actually call this text, const text message instead of just message. Then I'm going to create a variable right here. This is how you create a variable in JavaScript. And I'm just going to say notification message message is going to be equals to message. So it's going to be equals to text message at first. Okay. But if it's a photo message type, then I'm going to change notification message. So then I'm going to say notification message is equals to, let's just say something like sends a photo message. So you can already imagine it would say something like OSAS sends a photo message, or Dan sends a video message, something that simple. Let's do the same thing for our, for our video. So I'm just going to go right ahead and copy this. Else if it's of type, what did we call it here? We called it video. We have to make sure it's the same because it's case sensitive. Else, let's open up our new bracket, right? We're just going to say the notification message is equals to sends a video message. And let's go right ahead and do the same thing for our audio as well, for our voice message. So then we can say else, I'm going to copy this, paste it right here, and let's make sure we open a new bracket. Else, if it's of type audio, so paste the audio here, actually copied it from here. I'm bouncing all over the place. Audio, then we're just going to say notification message is sends a voice message. And you can add nice emojis here if you want. That is totally up to you. Okay, and we can do the same thing for admin. For example, if you created a new channel, but like I'm not really going to do that, I'll just leave it at that for now. And I think that gets the point across. And so everything stays the same, except instead of passing in a message, because we no longer have a message property inside of this function anyway, we're now going to pass in the notification message to our send push notifications method. So let's go ahead and save our Firebase Cloud function. Let us redeploy it. And this time around, we are going to be able to actually get, the specific push notifications whenever there is a photo or video message. So I'm going to click up again on my keyboard inside of my terminal. I'm just going to go into my terminal, click up, and that's the last function I ran. Click enter, and that should redeploy my cloud functions again, which is exactly what we want. So as you already know, this is going to take a couple of seconds. I'm going to come right back when it's done deploying. So my function has successfully deployed, and as always, let us go right ahead and run our project again on the simulator. Actually, we don't even need to rerun our project on the simulator. Let us just send a photo message again to this group channel, and let's send a video this time around. Let's add a beautiful text. It should still just say something like, send a video message. Hit that send button. It's probably going to take a couple of seconds because we are uploading a video file, but let's see, it's still probably uploading. In the completed version of the project, it's up to you guys. You could choose to add like a uploading indicator for like video messages. It's really not that hard. I think we did something similar with the profile photos, but this is taking quite a little bit of time. Not sure if there's something going on with my Wi-Fi. Okay, it finally came through. And look at that. It says keyword user 3, and that's the fam, sends a video message, which is exactly what we want. And you can go ahead and test it with photo message again, hit that send. I had another text. Look at that. It sends a photo message. It's the text. It says the actual text that was sent. So that's in a group chat. And of course, the same thing is going to happen for a direct channel because there's no difference, right? There's no difference between the two. The logic remains the same. And that's pretty much it, guys, for this episode. And as you can see, by just adding a couple of, simple ephemeral nodes, which is essentially just this, if I scroll all the way back up here, which is essentially just the channel name at send and chat partner FCM token, we can eliminate a bunch of redundant, Firebase read operation. Because look at that. Now we have just eliminated this get FCM token. We've eliminated get channel members. We've eliminated, get the message sender. Essentially, we eliminated anywhere from 3 on average, minimum of 3 read operations to potentially, 30. Because if you have, like I said, 12 chat partners in a group chat, we would have to loop through all of this FCM token to get the FCM token for each one. But by just storing this information on the client side and handling it, it just makes our life so much more easier. So that's it for this episode, guys. In the next episode, we're going to handle push notification for message reactions. So what happens when I long press on this message and I actually react to that message, right? I would like for us to send a push notification to the owner of that message. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching as always. Please like and subscribe. Keeps your boy going, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.